Am I audible and visible? Let me know. I think so. Sorry for the delay. Fine. Okay, good. So, hello everyone. Welcome to my class. I myself Dr. Deepthi Karya. I'm MD PhD Physiology and your faculty for Physiology. Today we'll discuss about skeletal muscle contraction. Okay. Now, so before that, I would like to inform you that in on my channel I have started videos for first year MBBS nursing physiotherapy homeopathy students. So if you are watching my videos live, you can get knowledge and you can complete your syllabus within a given period of time. Another announcement here is if you wish to get my notes, that is available in soft copy as well as hard copy. If you wish to get in soft copy, you can download the application Vesalius from the Play Store, and after downloading the application you have to subscribe. Fine. Then if you wish to get my notes in hard copy, that also you can order from Flipkart. Okay, so that is also available on Flipkart as well as Amazon. Okay, welcome you all. Now we'll start our today's topic, that is contractility, skeletal muscle contractility. Okay, so here, to understand this contractility or contractile response of the skeletal muscle, okay, we have to have knowledge about contractile components, series elastic components and parallel elastic components. So first of all we will discuss this, as well as we must know about, so today we will discuss all these things. Okay, these components, this is very much a confusing thing. So many students, they have confusion, what is madam contractile, series elastic component. I will discuss all the things, will make your doubts clear. Fine. Another thing we will discuss, that is we will discuss about motor units today. Okay, and we will discuss, if time permits, we will discuss about contractile response. Fine. Now, so starting with this three components: contractile component, series elastic component and parallel elastic component. Okay, now starting with first contractile component. Now, which are these contractile component in easy language? Contractile components, they are your actin and myosin filaments. Okay, actin and myosin. Actin filaments are thin filaments and myosin are thick. This are, if you see this diagram, you can easily get the idea about contractile component. So many times this word will come, contractile component. So which are this contractile component? Your actin and myosin filaments. Okay, now these components, they are considered to be viscous in nature, and they offer no resistance to stretch. Whenever muscle stretches, no resistance is applied by this component. Okay, and another important thing is, these components, they are not able to return to their original length after they get shortened. Okay, this you can see here, when they get shortened, they cannot easily come back to their original position. Now 60% of our muscle proteins, they are this contractile components, made up of this contractile components, or you can say 3/5, 60% or 3/5 of total components are contractile components. Fine. Second is series elastic components. The name itself suggests, you can see here, these are your contractile components. So the components which are present in series with this contractile components, they are your series elastic components. Fine. Now, which are the series elastic components? You can see here, this is your sarcomere, actin and myosin filaments. So these are your contractile components. Okay, and the components which are present in the series, these components which are present in the series are known as series elastic component. Okay, here this one. Now what are they? These are our tendons, elastic tendons of the muscle. This one, elastic tendons. Okay, now in resting condition, this series elastic components, they offer resistance when we are stretching the muscle passively. Okay, on passive stretching, this series elastic components in resting condition, they provide resistance. Okay, now, so you can say that this explains how muscle is able to contract even when external length does not change. Or you can say, in case of isometric contraction, I repeat, suppose your muscle contracts but the length will not change. How this happens? Suppose this is your muscle, okay? These are, sorry, I'll just draw it again, make it easy more. Just let me erase all. You can see here, this is your muscle, okay? Here it is shown. These are your actin filaments, myosin filaments, these are all, okay? So whenever muscle contracts, definitely your actin and myosin filaments, they will contract. But suppose when the contraction is isometric, what happens? Length remains same. So how can it be possible that this will contract, this size decreases, but the length remains same? Because of stretching of this component. Means you can see here, suppose the length of this muscle decreases here only this much, then that results in stretching of this series elastic component. So what happens because of this? The length of the muscle remains same. Am I clear to all? So this happens in case of isometric contraction. Okay, fine. And another important thing here, this also explains how your muscle gets its original length after contracts isometrically. Fine. You can see here in second diagram, you can see here this one. This is your isometric contraction. You can see here your actin and myosin filaments, they contract here, but length remains same. How? Because of stretching of your series elastic components. So this is the importance of your series elastic components. Fine. Now next is third one, parallel elastic component. Now parallel, the name itself suggests, you can see here, these are actin, myosin. These are your contractile components. These are tendon in the series, so these are series elastic component. And third one, they are parallel elastic component. Okay, this parallel elastic components, they are made up of the tissues which are parallel to this actin myosin. Fine. Okay, so this parallel elastic components are, which are this? They are your connective tissues that forms a sheath around the muscle, that is also a sarcolemma and filaments. Okay, they all are parallel to your actin and myosin filaments. So these are your parallel elastic component. Okay, now, so here, what is the role of parallel elastic component? You can see here this one, role of parallel elastic component. Because of these components, muscle gains or muscle regains its original length when it is stretched passively. Okay, on passive stretching, muscle gains its original length. Okay, and this series and parallel elastic components, they combinedly form 40%, or you can say 2/5 of the total muscle protein. Okay, fine. So this is about different types of components: series elastic components, parallel elastic components, and contractile components. Now there are certain concepts about muscle length. Number one is optimum length. Okay, what is optimum length? You can see here, this is optimum length. Optimum length means the length of the muscle at which it will develop maximum active tension. When maximum active tension is developed, that is optimum length. Fine. Next is resting length. Most of the time your optimum length is resting length. So what is resting length? It is the length of the muscle when the muscle is in resting condition or in the relaxed condition. That is resting length. Fine. Third, that is equilibrium length. Equilibrium length means when, suppose this is your muscle, when the muscle is separated from its connections here. Okay, when it is cut free from the bony attachments. The length which is found, that is the equilibrium length. And fourth one, that is initial length. It is the length of the muscle before it starts its contraction, that is initial length. So there are four types of lengths, try to remember. One is optimum length. It is the length of the muscle at which maximum active tension is developed. Second is resting length. In the resting situation, most of the time resting length is equal to optimum length. Okay. Next is equilibrium length, when the muscle is cut free from the bony attachments, the length, that is equilibrium length. And initial length, when muscle starts contraction. Fine. Now next topic we will discuss, very important one, that is motor unit. What is motor unit? Okay. Define motor unit. So many times this may be asked. Motor unit means your functional unit of the muscle contraction in intact body. This is the functional unit of muscle contraction in intact body. Okay. Now it consists of your, you can see here, this is one motor neuron and all the muscle fibers supplied by it. You can see here. Suppose your one motor neuron supplies 10 muscle fiber. So this whole forms the motor unit. Fine. Okay. Now this motor unit, for that your motor neuron is located in anterior horn cells. Okay. Ventral horn of the spinal cord. Okay. Now here, according to, depending on the type of muscle fibers present in the motor unit, there are two types of motor units. Number one is red or slow motor units and second one, that is white or fast motor units. We will discuss. So you can see here, depending on the type of muscle fibers in the motor unit, this motor unit is of two types. You can see here, this one, red motor unit and white motor unit. Fine. Now sorry, what is the difference between these two? You can see here, red motor units or red muscles, they are also known as slow twitch muscle. They are for long duration of contraction, whereas white or fast muscle fibers, they are for short duration of contraction. For example, suppose if we are standing for a long time, so our leg muscles, our postural muscles, they are contracted for a long period of time. So they are your slow fibers. And fast, suppose you are blinking your eye, so your muscles, they are moving fast. Or you are writing, so your hand muscles, they are fast. Fine. So accordingly you can see slow fibers or slow motor units and white or fast motor unit. You can see here, this slow motor units are also known as type 1 motor unit and fast one are type 2. Okay, you can see here, motor unit innervation ratio is high, means one motor nerve supplies more than 100 muscle fiber. Okay, whereas here one motor nerve supplies only 5 to 6 muscle fibers. Fine. Okay, so this is red slow muscle fibers or type 1 motor units, and this is 2, that is type 2 motor units. Fine. Now here, as I told you, red motor units or slow motor units, slow twitch fibers, they are adaptive for tonic contraction. These are adaptive for phasic. Phasic means short duration contraction. Here we have more myoglobin, so the muscle fibers, they are red in color, therefore they are known as red muscles. This has less myoglobin, that is white in color. Okay. Next is sarcoplasmic reticulum. Sarcoplasmic reticulum is less in red fibers because they are for sustained contraction. Okay, but here sarcoplasmic reticulum is more because for fast contraction we require more amount of calcium ions. So more sarcoplasmic reticulum here. Red muscles, they have more blood vessels, so red color. Here white muscles, they have less blood vessels. Mitochondria are more in the red muscles, less in the white muscles. Latent period is long in red muscle and short in the white muscle. Next is this red muscle contraction, that is less powerful. Here this is more powerful. Red muscles, they are required for prolonged activity, continuous activity, but white muscles are required for short term activity. This fatigue slowly, but white muscles, they fatigue fast, because when we are writing we get fatigue fast, but when we are standing the fatigue developed is slow. Fine. Now here this red muscles, they get their oxygen, which depends on cellular respiration for the ATP production. But here in white muscle, this glycolysis is required for the ATP production. Fine. Now, what are the properties of this motor units? Number one property, that is number of muscle fibers in the motor unit. You can see here. How can you find out number of muscle fiber? You can see here, this is neuron 1. It supplies suppose 10 muscle fibers, so this has 10 muscle fibers. B has got 20, C has got 100. So this is different in different motor units, and it depends on precision of the movement. What does it mean? Suppose if I require precise movement, suppose I want to write down, so this muscles of my hand, okay, they have short motor units or small motor units, means one nerve supplies only 5 muscle fiber. But if suppose I am sitting or standing, so that postural muscles, in them we have this less precision is required. Okay, so one nerve fiber supplies 100 muscle fiber. Fine. So that is one, number of muscle fiber in the motor unit. Second is recruitment of motor units. Recruitment means, suppose you can see here, when the stimulus is threshold, then sub maximal, then maximal, you can see more and more number of motor units are recruited, so the response increases. Suppose here 5 motor units are used, 10, 20, so response increases. Okay, fine. Then motor units also obey all or none law, means when the stimulus is threshold, then there is response, and when the stimulus is sub threshold, then there is no response. Fine. So this is all or none law. Fine. So this is all about your motor units. Small thing we will discuss, this is not much needed, about contractile response. Now what is contractile response? Contractile response is, you can see here, whenever there is action potential, you can see here, this is action potential, electric response, which is followed by mechanical response. This is contraction and relaxation, and this is your contractile response. Fine. Single muscle fiber, it contracts, it relaxes, like this. Okay, now here one characteristic we will discuss today, that is isotonic and isometric contraction. Okay, so first we will discuss about isometric contraction. The name itself suggests isometric, length remains same. Okay, same length. Fine. Okay, so you can see here what happens here. As I told you, when the length remains same, your contractile components contract, but series elastic components, they are stretched, so the length will not change. But here no change in the length, so no external work is done. Shortening of contractile components and stretching of series elastic component. Examples are when we are doing push-ups, pushing the wall, there is no movement. Okay. Next is isotonic contraction. You can see here this one. When we are lifting something, your muscle length changes, but the tension remains same. Okay, so length shortens. Shortening of contractile component and parallel elastic component, but there is no stretching of series elastic component, so muscle length changes. Example is when we are lifting something, when we are walking, these are isometric contraction. Fine. So this is all about your isotonic isometric contraction. Again, you can get all my videos, notes. Download the app Vesalius, as well as you can get the hard copy by ordering on the Flipkart. One more thing today I would like to announce that you can join my WhatsApp group. I have started WhatsApp group. Either the link I will share in the description box. You can join the WhatsApp group and you can put your queries, or you can send a message on this number 78638226668. You can send message on this number and I will include you in the WhatsApp group. There are so many amazing surprises. You will get some surprises, as well as you can get your doubts clear on WhatsApp. So you can join my WhatsApp group also. Send a message on this number 78638226668. Okay, thank you so much. If you like my video, you can like it, you can share with all your friends, and subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you so much.